Are we live? It looks like we're live. Okay, I think we are live. Okay, so today we are going to wire up this pickguard here and hopefully get it to be cool. I'm gonna try to see if I can get this common thing working and then we'll be off. So give me a second or two and hopefully it won't be too long. Don't know why I'm having issues. I feel like it should be fairly simple to do this. Okay, let's see. Yes. Okay. Yes. Oh, hi, Matt. You're already here. Or should I say Tigmill? If you guys don't understand or know what it is I'm talking about, Mads Panda is the panda that shows up in my Halloween videos, and it's a bit of a joke. He is a friend of the channel. You should check him out. If you search for Mads Panda, you'll find his song Clover Queen. It's a really nice song that you should all go listen to. Yes, so let's start today's live stream and see if we can get these pickups and this pickguard wired up. I have a Jazzmaster that needs a little bit of work, a little bit of attention, some love and care. And here we have what's happening. I have new pickups. Can I show you what they are? I'll show you them here. Here's the package. I don't know. 65 Jazzmaster pickup Fender, pure vintage. I don't know. You know, bunch of words. That's not what was in the guitar, but now that's what's going in. I do in this one. I do use 1M pots, and that's because I want this to sound jazz mastery. I've had other guitars where I've used 500Ks, and that works well as well. I have a Strat actually with that had 1 meg in, but I felt like it got a bit too sharp. The sound was not tonally sharp, but like it felt like the guitar was stabbing me in the ears. So in that case, I really didn't like it. But I feel like with Jazzmaster pickups, they work great. But yeah, you can go with 500Ks as well, which is something I feel like I see a lot of people do. And it sort of depends on what you're going for. But yeah, I have to do a little bit of rewiring. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this switch for now, but I am gonna probably switch it out later at some point, maybe. I don't have any issue with it, and I haven't had any issues with it. So I'm probably not going to do it until I have an issue with it. So, but I feel like these cables could be a little bit neater. So I'm going to pull this up here and hold it tightly here. I kind of like the idea of doing a sort of loaded pickguard thing, sort of like when you have a Strat. The Jazzmaster isn't really the same thing when it comes to those sort of approaches, you could say. But I I feel like with a little bit of tape help, it can be. So I put a little bit of tape like so, and then I pull these up, and I'll give myself a little bit of wiggle room, and I'll cut those off, and I'll unsolder all these cables. So. And then we're gonna just cut these back. And then we're gonna pre-tin them a little bit. And this one goes to the middle. And this one goes back here. Something like that. And now they're just lying a little bit more neatly. The middle pickup is so the cure. You're letting everyone know what it is I'm doing. No, I'm kidding. I found it always found it funny. Robert Smith was trying to record with a Woodsmith Top 20. Oh, guitar. Warm the guy mentioned that it was like you can't use beginner gear. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, like it's so funny. Like the internet hates the Line 6 Spider, and apparently the last record that was the only thing he was using for the amp. Oh, did he play the entire album on that pickup? Oh, that's gonna be cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, I mean, like when it comes to gear, it's just a question of what do you think sounds cool or what inspires you. Honestly, I don't understand all these people who are so crazy about, you have to have a vintage Strat from 63 or whatever it is, and you have to, yeah. But anyway, I have a multimeter here, and I've put it to continuity, and it will create this little beep sound when the tips are touching, and that lets me know when this is moved that way, which of these two legs is. So now those two are beeping, and those two aren't. You can't hear the sound, but I can. So the yellow tip here, that's where I'm going to put the neck pickup. It's just a very easy and simple way to make it easy for yourself. So I'll put that up there and a little bit of tape. Continuity mode is, I sound like I'm beating a dead horse or something. I know some of you are super bored with me for saying it, but it really is like, it's so good to use. So yeah, pull this up to here. We give ourselves a little bit extra, something like that. And then we'll just strip those back and expose the wires. Come on. I have two big hands for these sorts of things. Yeah, but when it comes to like what you use, I mean, it's the same thing with like this. I mean, I'm sure someone would look at what I'm doing and say you should use a wire cutter and not a scissor for this. This is actually not a scissor. It looks like a scissor, but it's actually like a higher grade scissor than just a regular like store bought thing. It's not. It's not really the same thing. Okay, so this is the lead wire, and we're going to take this off. Here, come on. And we're going to put this one in here. And we're going to move this one over here. But first we're going to pre-tin it. I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. But yeah, it's like I don't know if it's actually true. The thing I should probably say as well, because I mean, you read a bunch of things on the internet, and you know, half of it is true, and the other half is just some crazy thing someone made up because they wanted attention or something. So I don't actually know about the line 6 thing. Just a disclaimer if anyone's like, "What are you talking about?" But I read an article about Robert Smith's um, being like, I found a line 6, and I just thought it was amazing and a really great piece of gear, and so I decided I was gonna use that, and I've been using it ever since. That's what I saw a couple of years ago now. What do you guys think of the new album, or not new, maybe any longer, but the latest? Saw something on Instagram earlier today about the next album being almost done, which I mean, like that would be amazing. I'm gonna pre-tin this one as well. You just twist the wires around themselves so they become like a little spiral and become sort of neatly packed, and then you just put down a little bit of solder, a glob, and yeah, we'll do the same thing over here. Just you get used to using the tools that you have as well. So if you are used to cutting wires with a scissor, like I'm doing right here, then um, you know, you will be used to it. So you will know exactly how hard you have to press down to cut through whatever wire it is you're working with. So if it all seems a little bit and you don't have to actually ground them off on the switch. It's just that I have two wires in one wire, and I do have a ground position here on the switch. So it is actually kind of a nice thing to do. But you know, the grounding position on the switch isn't always necessary. And some switches don't even have them, honestly. I am messing up this. Don't know why all of a sudden. Maybe it's because I haven't been soldering in a while. I've been too busy doing other things. Sorry if my hands are in the way a bit too much. Anyway, That's gonna be good enough for now. Just all the grounds going over here. You know, it's all connected. You could also, you know, ground those two together if you wanted to. I don't think we'll need that. Okay, let's see. Can I move this around? Can you see the switch? This is for the middle pickup. Yeah, this thing here, which is an old. I mean, it's already been, you know, explained in the chat. It's already been guessed, rightfully so, what this is. And it's an old Tasco Japanese pickup from the 60s or something. It's going to be fun for me to experiment with because I've never had a guitar with anything like that. So yeah, we're gonna take a look and see how that's gonna be. What's that's gonna be like. But yeah, it's gonna come later when the guitar is done. Which I mean, the guitar is done. This is actually the last thing I need to do. So I need a couple of wires, and I need first a wire that is long enough for this to go, and I want it to go, you know, this sort of L shape, but I don't want it to be, you know, super taut, but something like that down there. And then over to the switch. I'll cut it a little bit longer. Something like that. And we'll start off by cutting off the plastic and pre-tinning it as well. Something like that. And now we have to decide which one of these two middle legs. It's actually 4 legs. I don't know if you can see it. This switch has 3 positions. So it has a middle position and then 2 to the side. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to attach the 2 legs in the middle. I've already put them together with each other, which maybe I should have told you. I'm telling you now. The 2 legs in the middle, so it's 4 legs like this. And those 2 legs in the middle, you solder together. You can do it with a wire, or you can just put solder together and cross them. And then leave the 2 outer legs bare. So that's the first row. And then we need to do exactly the same thing again, but with a red wire. I'm using a blue wire here because I've misplaced all my black wire. I bought a bunch of new wires in all sorts of colors in October actually, so it's been a while, and I've obviously I've already misplaced half of them. I have no idea where most of them are. And the reason why I'm doing this way is because, well, you could probably find a switch that has 3 legs for a middle position, but usually that means, you know, either or are connected to them, and that's not what we're dealing with, or what I'm going to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly solder that in place there. Okay, so let's pull these together. So let's do a little twisty thing here, if we can. Hopefully it won't unwind itself too much. You can put wires in a drill and spool them around each other so you don't have to mess with it like I'm doing right here. But yeah, something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to pull them over here. And the reason why I'm putting masking tape, I don't know if I told you, but I'm telling again because maybe there are some new people here who missed it, is because I want to make this into a pickguard that can just drop into the guitar. You can't see that much, but maybe you can see there's a little bit of tape here. I've taped the pickups down as well, and it's a little bit annoying that if you compare like a Jazzmaster to a Strat, for example, how everything sits neatly in the pickguard. You don't have to worry about it or think about it. But then when you do your your jazz mastery things, you all of a sudden you do have to think about it. Okay, so we have two wires here, and the blue one, dark blue one here, it's my ground wire. So I'm just gonna pre-tin it. And I could have pulled it over to the switch with all the other ones, but I already have 3 wires there, and it's a little bit clunky, and I don't like to have too much of a clunky mess, but I'm gonna just see if I can attach that over here. So just melt it together with the rest of them. I need to put down a little bit of flux or something, because this is not gonna wanna stick. Sometimes when things are a little bit unwilling to cooperate with you, you can just use a little bit of you can just scrape the surface or something. Oh, come on. Give me a sec. Oops. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Right. Let's see if we can maybe get that sorted in place. Just checking my iron. I'm sorry. It's usually not this difficult. I'm just gonna it really doesn't want to. I'm gonna okay. There's another way to do this, so let's do it that way. And yeah, I'm gonna take some of this off. And just make a new solder pad instead. Just try not to overthink it too much. There we go. Sometimes it's just, I don't know. It's just not wanting to be friends with you. And when that's the case, you just You just move along. Okay. Am I in frame? No, wait. There. Okay. So I'm gonna. I, I'm a little bit hesitant now because Matt said that he used that only pickup, which means that maybe I should too, and that I should wire this up so that I could do that, which is not what I was planning on doing. So this here is getting attached to where the output jack is on the volume. No, not on where the output jack is, where the volume is, something like that. Yeah, and because if I had put it on the middle leg, then it would I wouldn't have been able to use the volume to control the pickup, which we do want to be able to do. So don't do what I showed you to do, but don't do what I almost did. Yes, or said, whichever one it was. That was wrong. I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. Sorry, I'm trying to be funny. It is harder to do live streams than you might think. So be patient with me if you think that I'm being annoying. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back up here to the switch, because here's where the funny thing that we're going to do is going to be happening. We're going to wire in a couple of tiny cables, and then we're also going to wire in the switch. And if you've done some wiring before, or if you've just seen my other videos on wiring guitars, you probably know exactly what I'm going to do with this switch. So first we need a little jumper cable, and you can use something like the leg of a resistor or something. You know, if you can come up with a way to put this so that it's not shortening out on itself or something, then yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can get some solder on this. Okay, so I hope you guys can see there's basically two switches. Each row is its own switch, and so if we put one wire here, like so, and then over to this lower row here, then when the middle legs are connected to this side, where we'll later put the pickup, it's just going to go to the output jack normal. The black wire from the pickup is going to be connected to this blue one and go to ground, and the red one to this orange one and go to the volume pot. But when we flip it around to the other side, then they're going to all of a sudden be crisscrossed. And I hope I'm able to show you this, or that you can see what it is I'm doing. And that's a super easy, simple way to make a switch that lets you change your phase. So the volume and the pickup will be either in phase or out of phase, basically, depending on. We'll take a look at it super soon in a little bit more detail if you're unsure. But basically, I put this here on the second row, which is, its completely own switch, and then over to this side, and I attach it here to the last leg here. And I apparently didn't tape that pickup down nearly as neatly. Like that. Maybe looks a little crude. But yeah. Well, see, can I get this? Can I get this a little bit closer so you guys can see? Have I something I can poke with? That leg there on the outside is connected across, so not just to the other side of the switch, from the outside to the other outside, but also to the other side, crisscross, you know, something like that. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. And basically all it means is when we flick the switch, let's see if I can show you. So now the switch is over there. It will be, damn it, I thought I taped this down well enough. It will be, those two legs are connected to the middle leg. And since that black leg is connected to this black side, it will be exactly the same as if the pickup just went to the volume. And that red to that red. It's just in line, goes directly to the volume. So it will be exactly as if we had wired it, you know, correctly, which should be that it's in phase, because this is a middle pickup from a guitar. And if we flick it over here, then we're crisscrossing the wires. Sorry. And all of a sudden, this black wire here becomes the red, and the red wire here becomes the new black. So all we need to do now is take our pickup wires, pull them down here, add a little bit of tape to make sure that everything stays neatly and nicely in place, because obviously that's what I want. Try to make sure everything is somewhat down. You can use electrical tape for this as well if you want to. You don't have to use masking tape. I just feel like masking tape's a little bit better. But then we pull this one over here. I'm going to trim this back just a little bit. And then we're going to pre-tin that very thin little wire. It is interesting with all the pickups, you know, because we have some sort of standards nowadays that we just didn't used to have. And then this gets connected here. I did have to take, I did need to have to take, I can't speak. I had to take this pickup apart, or I didn't have to take it apart, but I did have to take it apart. So the pickup came with a cover that I've lost. I had it here a moment ago. But anyway, I had to make a new one. And I tried to make one. Here is the first try. And I broke the pickup, taking it apart. So I had to remake the pickup, basically. So yeah, I actually filmed a little YouTube short. So you're, to like tomorrow or something. Or, I mean, maybe tomorrow, depending on where you live. Some of you live in different time zones. So for you, it's going to be like just a weird amount of hours. But yeah, there's coming a video showing off what one of these old Tasco pickups looks like inside. And it's actually really interesting because they have this very strange structure. You know, they have they're basically like a weird U. It looks like this, which maybe doesn't say much, but around there is the coil, and it's just like a bar of steel. And then it has the magnet sitting on the underside, sort of like a humbucker, and then screws going in through the top. And the screws are meaningless. They don't do anything. They're just there to hold down the plastic thing on the top, because they have that entire bar thing that looks like a elongated U, and it's just it's just a weird way of making a pickup, and it takes up a lot of space. Like if you look at this and you compare it to like a single coil, let me just get you. Wait, I have one over here. If you compare it to a single coil, you can sort of tell like how much it is bigger than a single coil, a regular single coil, but the amount of wire is half. And this is, just a cheap knockoff, pretty thin wired one. So yeah, There's not a lot of wire on it. And I don't know if you can see it because I kind of smudged it accidentally, but it said 6.20K. And when I measured it before I put it in, it was 6.13K. And now after I fixed it, it's actually 6.48. So somehow I increased it, and it's been consistently that. Because sometimes if you heat something up or something, you can change the resistance value on it. But yeah, but it's still pretty high. So I don't know. Let me know what you think, if it's better or worse to have a pickup that is high. Anyway, yeah, okay. So that's actually all of it. I think we're actually kind of done. The next thing is obviously put the guitar in to the guitar. So there you have it. Here we have the last ground wire, but this one is going to go to the bridge. So I've just poked it through one of the screws holes here. And yeah, I'm kind of done with this one now. And I'm gonna start putting the guitar together. I'm not going to do it today because it's already pretty late. It's almost it's 9:30 actually. And so yeah, kind of a little bit done for the day, except a little bit of cleanup and things. But yeah, it's going to be a fun video. Hopefully, you guys are going to enjoy that one when it comes, and it's going to be cool. If anyone has any questions about guitar pickups or wiring or anything I did here that you really wanted me to answer, I'll be around for a couple of more minutes before we end this. I think this is going to be cool. Yeah. We're using 1 meg pots, just like Tig Mill, or aka the artist formerly known as Mads Panda, asked. So yes, there are two 1K pots here, and they are the Fender Vintage 65 pickups, and that's because I think that his Jazzmaster is an old, like early 60s Jazzmaster. It's either a 65, a 66, or maybe a 63 or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, we're trying to make a little like vintage correct thing here. So yeah, if you have any questions about wiring, you can either write them now before I end, or you can write them in the playback afterwards. I'm going to keep the live stream available so you can rewatch it afterwards if you want to. You can also talk to me in the comments below. You can yeah, talk to me over on Instagram as well if you feel like so. And yeah, here we have the wiring. Maybe I'll neaten this one up a little bit because it's a little floppy. But I think it's good. One thing you can do that I just want to say, if you need to like tighten things up, I might have to do that here. Maybe there's a couple of wires here that are a little long, a little floppy. There are these cables, wire snippers. No, what are they called? Zip ties is the word I'm looking for. Zip ties. And if you want to, you can use those and neaten everything up all around. I've done that before on guitars, and it works really well. You don't have to use masking tape. I just don't have any of those at the moment, unfortunately, to use for this. So yeah, put a bit of tape on here as well. Okay. But yeah, I think that's it. I think we're done. And yeah, I'm gonna go and play some video games, and you guys are gonna wire your guitars. And if we look at the front, you'll see how beautiful this looks. Except maybe I'll drop everything. I wanted to have a switch up there, but I didn't want it to be, you know, too much of a headache. So something like that, you can see it. It looks pretty cool, I think. What do you guys think? Any thumbs up? Yeah. uh, the amount of work I had to make on this pickup. It's yeah, and obviously the tape is gonna be removed. It's just there to hold everything down because these have to be screwed into the body. That's coming later. I'm gonna try to look for control knobs because the ones that came with the guitar originally and that matches the old covers, which were a lot more creamy than the vintage Fender ones, who are more. They are a little bit creamy, but they are like a closer to a white one with a little bit of yellowing here and there. While these knobs, for example, you can see that it's like night and day. Um, yeah. So and that one also nothing matches now. This one doesn't even match these. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna end it now. I've said that like 6 times already. So yeah, I want to thank you all for watching and sticking with me through this live stream of me wiring a little bit. It's been fun. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you have more questions than ever before. And if you do, you can just talk to me. I have a couple of videos on wiring different kinds of guitars. So yeah, and there's more videos coming. I've been kind of slow lately, but I have a guitar that has taken me like 2 months to build, and I'm finally done with it. So soon we're gonna pick up and have more videos coming again. And once you get to see that guitar, I think you can understand why it took me so long to build. But yeah, and then we have this guitar coming as well. So there's like 5 guitars coming. So yeah. Anyway, that's enough rambling. I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to stay awesome and cool and all of that. And yeah, I'm gonna see if I can end this live stream. Can I? Ah. How do I end this?